Yeah, today is 10th of January 2023. No any legal improvements in European Union court case are performed so far. No son's custody from criminal colonization. The anonymous criminal hostage is still continuing. Moreover, the troubles with registered correspondence, which were fixed in the was Latvia's past system with delivery of registered correspondence to the Netherlands to the one-word personnel's BV, was also marked due to the reason that delivery periods are simply violated. But internal post services personnel are too passive for solutional performances or enthusiastic approaches. Today, on the 10th of January 2023, the period of underage son's criminal hostage, the isolation by the appointed crimes and deliberate violences of the internal government court institutions and thus criminal representatives, is lasting 65 months. That's 5 years and 5 months of inactivities of the criminal bodies, even with no concerns, thus must react onto the legal facts or knowledge of such in their own systems or the objective performances with obligative cooperations of the ones with the ones against whom such crimes are directed. These informative labels, the international one and the national one, for the knowledges of the publicity that criminal performances are obligative for justice and for solutions at each separate level and internal country institutions. The malfunctions or tries of resistances by any types of criminal games or criminal competitiveness by the ones in charge who are obligated to act by law will simply lead to official fatalism against the criminal bodies and thus systems. That mostly relates to the prosecution black performances, the black system and black representatives. I've received today a regular letter from General Prosecution Office with returning of my registered letter with all the data and the invoices with attached label. If the documents or any formalities are directed to addressants, thus must be kept by the addressants, especially by the internal country institutions. The black performances or the show-ups that we're not gonna accept that with legal answer that in accordance with civil law article 7 or something, we will not review this application. But it's not application, these are obligated to pay invoices as the only option for their and the common securities, as most of the black criminals and black criminal violators are remotely hooked with all related to them criminal bodies for obligative justice if the payment, the legal payment, will be ignored to be executed. There will be no mercies to anyone. There will be no mercies to the system with electronic nets from abroad in the European Union territories with obligative legal attitudes to the black-minded criminals who aren't willing to understand personal responsibilities and importance of their functions in existing positions. Light-minded criminals who don't care of their countries and internal country orders as well as functionalities of the institutions are very dangerous because first of all they are permissive towards others. Second, they don't understand why the functional scopes are more important than their will to compete or to ignore the legal obligations, which in turn might set their criminal bodies as violators to jails to stated by laws facts periods, and or to official fatalism where will be no argues or abilities to be protected. That in massive scales in this European Union court case that relates to all the prosecution criminal players. If thus aren't willing to understand own importance and legal seriousness in official issues, thus will be guaranteed casualties with no abilities for protection. That exist no instruments, no weapon, no systems for protections from obligative justice. That in connection with the courts, the systems will be suffering too, because the court is actually independent institution, but in line with the prosecution system, they are not capable to fulfill procedural order when they taking the attitudes above the functional obligations. Systematic understandings in total permissiveness or absence of responsibilities by any types of criminal bodies will lead to obligative legal consequences to any system or to any representatives at that level. Therefore, I place this once again to the electronic registries that prosecution office will not be existing until they will execute official obligations and payments, but included into such criminal bodies will be subject to forced collections, obligative locks, and or reasonable murders. That will be happening until the functional scopes of internal country institutions will be clear as a ABC in the school ages.